Hey, it's Michael from Jira Training. Welcome to another YouTube tutorial. And today we're going to talk about really cool subject, which is how to configure multiple boards for a single Scrum project in Jira. Yeah. So yesterday I've been actually in London to see my customer. So hello, Carlos, by the way. And yeah, we've been actually talking a lot about how to actually configure, it was the proper way of the configuration of the project. And I have to say, it's not that easy subject, but it's actually coming back to me, and a lot of customers keep asking me how to do it. What's like the best practice for it. So today I'm going to show you how to configure a project, in Jira with Scrum project. For example, Scrum project, because it's going to work also for Kanban. But we're going to talk about Scrum, and I'm going to show you how to basically set it up, multiple boards. We're going to separate maybe 2 or 3 boards, and one of the most important elements for a customer was actually components, but I'm going to also show you how to use the label, so how to differentiate, because of course, we know from my previous videos that the Scrum board obviously using filters. So everything in Jira, as I told you before, is strictly connected to the filters. So okay, so we're going to talk about the components, what the component is. I'm going to explain what the component is. We're going to configure the Scrum boards, like maybe 2 or 3 different Scrum boards for a single project, and I'll also show you how to use labels for that. Okay, so let's jump into my Jira in the cloud, and I'm going to use a demo project this time again. Okay, so I'm going to be back in 2 seconds. All right, so let's start from the beginning. I'm using, as you can clearly see, again, Jira in the cloud, which is super good. So, well, I've got already a few demo projects, but whatever, who cares? I'm going to create another one. So let's start from the beginning, because I would like to show you a few important tips for that. So again, I would need some sample data. I'm not going to configure basically a blank project. I'm going to navigate to create a sample data menu, and in this case I'm going to use Scrum. However, that will also work in the exact same way for Kanban. So it doesn't matter if you want to do it for Kanban, that's absolutely fine. All right, let's do it. So let's create a new project, and we'll be something like why not? I like very short keys, so MDP I think is going to be absolutely fine, and looks like that key is available, so I'm good to go. And I'm going to go and submit. So Jira is going to probably do it very quick because it's very fast. Yeah, okay, that's very good, So, as you can clearly see, we've got our first, actually, we've got configured our demo project with a lot of sample data. So I'm not going to talk about the sprints or even the menu. But we've got actually 2 important things to talk. So let's talk first of all. Obviously, if you're not very familiar with the Scrum, please watch my other videos. I explain clearly what's the sprint, what's the backlog, how to create new sprints. So I'm assuming in this video you know that already how to do it. Okay, so by the way, by default, very often, because in Jira I've got this like a really nice short menu, like the minimalistic version. So I will actually advise you to expand it. Yes, so please expand it, because we need few more details from here. So let's talk first of all about components. What the hell is the component in Jira? So basically, component is a tag. It's just a tag. However, it can be used to basically create something like a sub project. But please be aware that in Jira, it is actually not possible to create sub projects. Yes, it is not possible to create subprojects. There is no such thing in Jira. There is no hierarchy regarding projects, so every project is just like equal. Yeah, and there is no way to create any nested thing. However, we've got something like component. So one of the uses of the component is just we can create like a sub project, like a sub-project, I call it. Sometimes people are saying to me, oh, no, it is a sub-project. No, it's actually not. It's just a tag. Yeah, it's just a tag. However, what's the difference between component and labels? Because it's not actually that different. And the component, as you can see right here, it can have additional different project lead, yeah, and different default assignee. So basically, very quick example how people are actually utilizing. They're creating something like backend and frontend. This is very, very, very popular way to use components. So we're going to do it. Backend, and look at this. I can actually, it's not absolutely mandatory, but I can set a different, very, very different project lead. For instance, if you've got very large projects, and there is a very, very large team, but it doesn't need to be a very large team, can be like, even 10 people. And we can have two different project leads, because one lead, our first leader is responsible for backend and another is responsible for frontend, So obviously I'm not going to actually set this. You can experiment with that. And I say something like, backend only, if of course I can spell it correctly. What it doesn't like it. Okay, it doesn't really matter. And the default assignee, it can be of course project lead, but they don't need to be any default assignee. It's just up to you. I'm not judging here. Whatever is going to work for you, of course. So I will say unassigned. Okay. So and again, it's going to be front end. And again, it could be very different project lead. Could be some description, say front doesn't like it. And the default assign, again, I would say is going to be unassigned. And that's it. That's really it. There is a few actually cool things, because right now, if you go to components, we've got some issues associated with our component. It's going to, of course, show us. If I click over here, it's going to, of course, point me to the filter. All right, so I'm happy with that. So basically now, let's go back to our backlog, and we can do two things. So first of all, when we how actually add this stuff to the component. So obviously, when you create the C button, of course my favorite, that. So when I hit the C button, it's for create. I can start, adding stuff. And yes, of course, here we've got components. Obviously, if we've got everything selected, yeah, you're gonna see that field. But if not, like, I like to basically customize my fields. So of course, make sure that component is enabled. Cool. I've got actually enabled. So what happened now? I'm gonna say it's gonna be backend. And whatever, user story, whatever, the labels, we're not going to use it. And we can do create. And of course, it's Jira, so we can have, of course, multiple components. We don't need to be one, because of course we can use components for many things. It's just like a tagging. So you can have one issue associated with multiple components. Of course, in my case, to have a front and back end, probably not going to make a sense. So I'm going to do create. And of course, my first issue landed in the backlog. That's absolutely fine. But let's actually associate something with that component from our sprint. So how to do it for existing issues? Very simple. Just highlight the mouse on the issue and just go over here to the component, and we're gonna see this one is gonna be backend. This one is gonna be front end. I need a few of them, yeah, so it's some random really. This one is gonna be front end again, yeah. This one is gonna be our backend, yeah. So cool. I think we've got a few issues associated. Why not? Maybe a few more. Not labels, components, backend. Okay, so look what's gonna happen when I'm gonna navigate to the components. Yeah, so now we're gonna clearly see we've got 4 issues associated with backends and two issues associated with the front end. That's very good. So just keep talking about the components, but yeah, as you can also experiment with that. You can have very default associated the assigning. So maybe you can use it to just like automate a little bit. So how to use components, very flexible. I really like it, and I think it's very popular. Okay, so basically based on that components, we're gonna create a separate board right now. Yeah, we're gonna create a separate board. So let's move on to our next subject: how to create a multiple boards for a single project. Again, it's a Jira, which is very simple. Okay, it's a few methods to do it. Of course, you can go to a very classic way, go to boards, view all boards, they're going to display all boards, and you can create one. However, I like the changes in Jira, which I don't remember when, but actually not maybe long ago, they've added that capacity right here. That's why I asked you in the beginning to expand the menu. So from that menu, we're going to actually go and see what's going to happen if I'm going to create a board. So of course it's going to be Scrum. And by the way, as I told you before, it can be Kanban, because this is another way to mix them together, because Jira supports Scrum, Kanban, and Scrumban. Yeah, Scrum plus Kanban on one board. And I'm going to go for Scrum. Okay. And yeah, it's definitely going to be based on existing project, and board name, I would say from frontend. And yes, it's going to be only one project. By the way, that's how you're going to add additionally projects to boards. Yeah, because you can have, of course, one board to manage multiple projects in the other way. But this time we're going to talk about how to create multiple boards for a single project. And well, I am happy about this. So let's hit the create board. Okay, excellent. So, well, we've got now two boards, and that's how you're going to switch between them. Yeah, right here. Yeah, so we've got MDP because that's the key, and we've got, of course, our front end. Well, but basically, if we're switching to our front end, there's nothing really happening here. Yeah, it's just no point right now in this stage to have two boards because they are identical. However, I'm going to show you now how to actually filter out the issues. So you're going to only see a front-end designated issues on our backlog element everywhere. So like a global change, because this is actually a filter. So let's do it. How to do it? How to change it? Very simple. I'm again assuming you are the project administrator or system administrator, so you've got a right to do it. Yeah, because sometimes people keep asking me, "Oh, I can't see this option. What's happening?" Well, yes. So if you don't have sufficient permissions, you're not gonna be able to change that. So let's do it again. Let's navigate to board configuration, and this time we're gonna use general. So in general, you're gonna navigate to filters, and we're gonna go to edit filters query. Yep. And there you go. This is actually our query. Yeah, so this is actually our query for the board, because please do not forget that the board is strictly connected to search to our filters. I'm going to switch to basic because it's not necessary really to use advanced. However, if you, feel free if you want to do it. And I'm going to filter out. I'm just going to add a few. No, we'll just add one additional parameter to my search. And yes, of course, it is on the top. And that's that because the board is calling frontend. I'll call it frontend. And look at this, I've got only two. So what I have to do right now, I have to save it. Yeah, I have to save it. I save that. And what you have to do, just press twice back in the browser, back to the board, and voila, that's it. That's how simple it is. And to confirm that, I can actually navigate to that issue and see, all right, that component is enabled. Yeah, so now we've got two boards. So, just to really very quick walkthrough, I'm going to create additional boards so you can see how to do it for the backend. It's going to be very same procedure. So again, I'm going to go and create board, create a Scrum board for existing project. Yes, and call it backend. And of course, it's going to be MyXDev project sample. I'm going to do create. And again, you know, it's a very, very same board. So it's a very default board. Nothing's really changed. So let's actually optimize it. So we're going to see only components available for which are set for the backend. So let's do it again. Navigate to the menu, board settings, general, edit filter query. Yeah, we've got our filter here. Go to more components, and of course this one is gonna be backend. Yeah, so we got 4, and I'm happy about it. Save it. Yeah, please do not forget to save it, and click a few times. Come back to the board, and voila! Again, really simple, really effective, and it's I think quite functional. So basically now you can switch between boards seamlessly. I really like it, you know, and I think it's very powerful. I think it's very powerful, very simple, very powerful, and you know, frustration free, I would say. So I think that's gonna be it for that tutorial. If you like my video, please of course leave the comment, subscribe to my channel, and give me thumbs up. Thank you so much. See you at the next video. Bye.